Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Go ahead and talk about this Brooke Hogan, Linda Hogan situation. We got quite a few people in here. Welcome. So when they started trending, I'm sitting here like, well, fuck, what year is this? Like 2005? I haven't heard nothing about Brooke and Linda Hogan in years. Now, let me say this. I was a big fan of Hogan Knows Best. I don't know if y'all, a lot of y'all may be too young, because I mean, when that was out, my youngest was like 2 and 3. So put a teacup if y'all remember Hogan Knows Best with Brooke, Nick, Hulk Hogan, and Linda Hogan. That was my show. Like, I watched it faithfully. I was a huge, because I'm a wrestling fan. So, you know, to see Hulk Hogan on a reality TV show, I was here for it. But it's just been a lot of just craziness that has befallen that family over the past 20 years. We had the situation with Nick basically almost killing his best friend. And he's still, to me, a spoiled brat, because he got caught maybe like 5 years ago in another DUI arrest. You literally almost killed your best friend. Your best friend turned into a vegetable, and you're still out here drinking. That would make me never want to drink a drop, let alone drive drunk again. So yesterday I'm minding my business, and all of a sudden Linda Hogan pops up on my timeline. And she looked at, ooh-wee. Child, looked like some damn spoiled milk. So she was going off. She was ranting about Hulk Hogan, ranting about her daughter. She's very hurt. See if I can pull it up. She looks rough. All right, we're going to watch what Linda Hogan has to say, child.
Okay, so I'm just home by myself today. Again, as usual, I'm okay with most things, but today something hit. I don't know what hit, but I look terrible because I've been crying. And yesterday I went to try to go have Botox and shit, and they bruised me like, I don't know. But it's been 15 or longer years since I got left Hulk Hogan. And my family is in the worst mess. Brooke doesn't talk to us. She's had twins. She got married. She didn't tell us. She had twins. She didn't tell us. She had a huge fight with Terry. I don't know how that reflected onto me, but she cut me out too. I haven't talked to her for 7 years, almost 8 years now. And God bless Nick. He's still such a good boy. I've never put a Facebook post out like this with my ugly face and my crying face, but I have to be honest about what I went through in my marriage with Terry as Hulk Hogan, and what it entailed and what it has caused over the years and everything else. He's a complete liar. He is a sex addict. Get your face out there and know that all these horrible things are going on behind the scenes. Yet he marches on. He marches on like, yeah, oh, I'm promoting my own beer, real American beer. Yeah, look at me. Woo! Yeah, he's such a hero, right? Not. Okay, I'm going to give him my thumbs down. I've given him more opportunities to come back and make us a family and try to, I'm sorry, it's so sad. And it's been 20 years and I'm still this sad. Somebody please explain that. I don't know. It just doesn't get better. I do love living alone. I don't ever want to be married again after him. Trust me. But, I love my...
Child, it is a lot to unpack. Let me come back on the screen because she looked rough. Okay. like I said, I was a fan of this show. I watched it all seasons. I remember a lot of the episodes. I remember them getting their first chocolate cell phone. It was called the LG chocolate. I ran and got one because they had one. So I was a big fan of this show. I'm going to say this. First of all, Nick, objection, is not a good boy. Okay? Even when he almost killed his friend, he was asking Terry, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan, to get him out of jail. He doesn't belong there. And like I said earlier when I first came online, his friend is still a vegetable to this day. Okay? And Nick was caught recently, as of like 5 years ago, driving again drunk, knowing that he almost killed his friend. So, no, he's not a good guy. She's talking about how she doesn't have a relationship with Brooke. I do follow, up on Brooke occasionally, and she's finally married. She's in a happy space. She just had twins, so I'm super happy for her. Brooke is now what? She's 36 years old. Nick is 34 because they were always 2 years apart. And then she goes on to say that she has not seen Brooke in 8 years, and Brooke is not talking to her because Brooke is also estranged from her father, so she's also not talking to Hulk Hogan. And then she goes on to say that, he thinks he's all that. He can just come back out and he's trying to sell his beer and, thumbs down. I try to make my family work. I gave him a chance to come back to me and he didn't. And then she says that she likes living alone. Bullshit. What I get from her rant is that this is a woman who is now broken. Okay? This is what a lot of women, unfortunately, come to the realization, sometimes sooner than later. But unfortunately for women, as we get older, okay, especially, she's having to get Botox. She looks rough. I just don't see like a lot of young guys running after her. She has all types of issues, outside of how she looks right now. But the thing is with a man, we can say it's fair or not fair, but we live in a patriarchal society. Men can get older and women, they can still pull women. Women will still want them. Hulk Hogan is in his 70s. He is literally on his third marriage. He divorced the other lady, that he was married to for about 10 years. He divorced her 2 years ago. He's now currently remarried to like some woman in her 30s. And I think that's what's really bothering. Yeah, he has a new wife. Let me see if I can find Hulk Hogan's new wife. Give me just a second. He just got remarried in 2023. I keep up with the Hogans. Only because I like wrestling. Yeah, here's his new wife. Sky Daly. And mind you, Hulk Hogan is in his 70s. Okay, let me share my screen. That's his new wife. Okay. She's a yoga instructor. She's 25 years younger than Hulk Hogan. She has 3 children of her own, but that's her. He's living his best life. Okay? They met at a Bret Michaels concert. So I think what's kind of going on here is, Linda feels away. She's older now. Linda's like 65 years old. She's never gotten remarried. Nobody's really checking for her. And I'll kind of explain to you why. And I think she feels really upset because she feels like he can just pick up his life and move on. He's married again now for the 3rd time. The woman he's married to is half Hulk Hogan's age. And she's sitting there alone with her dog barking in the background. And even her daughter don't fool with her. Okay? Now, let me say this for y'all who don't know about Linda's tea. Okay? During the last, I want to say maybe last or second to last season of Hogan Knows Best, they went through the divorce, right? At the time, like Linda would always say little slick shit to Hogan, kind of poke fun at him on camera. And, he would take the brunt of the joking, but you could tell it hurt his feelings. So they eventually got, divorced. What ended up happening is that Linda then turned around and started messing with her son's friend. Who remembers Charlie Hill? I watched the show. So let you know what I mean? Clock that T. Who remembers when Linda Hogan was dating Charlie Hill, who was Nick's friend? Charlie Hill was 19 years old when Linda Hogan was 48. Put a teacup if y'all remember Charlie Hill. Let me show y'all a picture of her and Charlie. He ended up having a sewer back in 2014. Let me pull up some pictures of Charlie. She got with him thinking it was going to make, Hulk Hogan jealous. Now, in this picture, he's 23, but when she got with him, he was 19. Because it caused a big, a lot of drama on the show. That's Charlie Hill. She was 52 here. He was 23. Okay? But she got with him when he was 19. That was her son's friend. So basically, it was like Jada Pinkett, August Alsina situation. Okay, I'm glad y'all remember. I see the teacups. Okay, I don't forget nothing. Just like how, Jada Pinkett met August Alsina from her son. He was friends with Willow and Jaden. And then she got to smashing him. I just feel like that's too close to home when you're messing with your children's friends. That's too much. And that caused, y'all remember that caused a lot of conflict. And I remember she was using Charlie as a pawn to kind of get back at Hulk Hogan. Because Hulk Hogan at the time, he wasn't really dating. He was real depressed. And I remember that scene where Hulk Hogan couldn't come to the house, but they had like a ocean property. And they were filming a scene where Charlie's like on the jet skis. He's like on the jet skis, living his best life. He's 19, he's a shorty. He's getting some cooch and, living in a mansion. He don't give a fuck. And Hulk Hogan's like, I can't believe, like, I have all these pins in my back, all these screws. I put my blood, sweat, and tears to build a home for my family. And some 19-year-old punk is basically, benefiting off the fruits of my labor. Y'all remember that when he said that? He was real hurt. So that show really made her look crazy. It did. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with dating younger, okay? But I think, 48 and 19, that's come on. What are we doing? I could see if it was 48 and 30, but 19 and it's your son's friend, that's a bit much. And that caused a real rift between her and her children. So it's very interesting that now we fast forward almost 20 years later, and she's now saying that, she wanted, her family back. She gave Hulk Hogan a chance to come, but he's not coming back to that. Ma'am, you embarrassed that man time and time again on that show, including running around with your 19-year-old boyfriend. They dated till he was about 23, 24. Then he had to come out and sue her because he said that she was just using him to, work like a slave. She had him planting avocado trees and I guess feeding the chickens and the goats. I don't know. She had him doing a bunch of old people shit. So he ended up suing her because he felt like he put in a lot of labor around their home and he wasn't getting paid. Well, you're not supposed to get paid. I'm fucking you. I mean, that's like what the pay you for. Objection. You're getting cooch. Like, what the fuck? But he sued her. He got like $9 million or something. He got some money though. He did get some money. She had him planting all types of trees and shit. He was like, she had him doing manual labor. Let me see if I can find the article, child. I don't forget shit. He sued her though. He sued her. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. He says she treated me like a day laborer. It was a nasty little separate. This was like back in 2014 for a lot of y'all who are young who missed this tea. That's him right here. Charlie, I'll wax your yacht for cash. She had him doing all types of shit. Linda Hogan treated her 19-year-old boyfriend like a guy holding up a sign in front of Home Depot, according to lawsuit that he filed for $1.5 million for manual labor. You'll recall Linda, then 48, started dating 19-year-old Charlie Hill after she split from hubby Hulk Hogan. Charlie claimed in his lawsuit that Linda took advantage of their relationship and made him do all sorts of things, including waxing the yacht, digging a ditch in the creek, fertilizing 25 acres of avocado trees. Charlie does not wait. And other list of laborious chores that go on, including pulling weeds and reeds from the lake, construction, landscaping, and running a chainsaw team. She put his little young ass to work. She said, "You're not about to be living here in this mansion and getting all this good cooch, bitch. Get to work." So he ended up suing her. I don't forget shit. When I tell you I was a fan, I was invested. Yes. So I don't forget nothing, child. So Charlie done sued, got his little bit of money, and Linda's literally been single since then. So every now and then, she'll get online and rant about some shit, I had to, because I think last time I drug her was in 2020. She was on some, just being like real disrespectful when it came to Black Lives Matter, and I had to drag her real quick. But, so yeah, that's why nobody feels bad for Linda. So now I'm like, okay, well, why is her and Brooke not talking? Brooke had her babies, what's going on? Well, Brooke done came out and Brooke is spilling some tea. And I believe it, because Brooke, she went through a lot on that show, being picked apart. She was a teenager. They were young. And then once her brother did what he did, it affected, because remember Brooke, she started singing. She launched her music career from that show. And it was like a cute little video. She had like I forgot what rapper was in the video, child. But it tanked her music career. Like, she was affected by all the drama from, her parents' divorce, her brother almost killing his friend. It was a bunch of ratchetness that went on with the Hogans for years. So Brooke took to social media and she said this. Let me go ahead and pull this up, because she addressed it. She's really upset at her mom right now. So Brooke Hogan goes after mom Linda following the tearful video. So Brooke Hogan's twins are babies. They're really little. So this is what she wrote. So she says, "I try hard to ignore issues surrounding my family in hopes I might have peace in my life. Sadly, I've intentionally made myself smaller in my professional career in music and TV simply to dodge the public negativity surrounding my family that has continuously and relentlessly overshadowed anything I do. If it were just me, I would continue to take the hits and shrink even smaller to avoid the dangers of speaking out publicly, but I have my own family now, and it's affecting more than just me at this point. There was a recent video posted by my mother that was concerning enough for people to send it to me. That has made me feel the need to address the tip of a very large iceberg that is my immediate family. What little I am addressing does not even scratch the surface of what I dealt with in my entire life. I will start by saying this video is mild compared to the behavior I have witnessed for the greater portion of my life. This also comes in addition to false claims that she has previously posted, then deleted. That being said, she has been through a lot of trauma and pain, and my heart breaks for her. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you treat others and cope with things. Too many times I have ignored and said that about me, and I haven't spoken my truth. Even so, I will keep things as vague as possible to continue to protect people that should have protected me." So she's saying some deep shit here. I'm going to keep going. Most importantly, I have completely separate reasons for going no contact with each of my parents. No contact with my mom has nothing to do with my dad. No contact with my father has nothing to do with my mother. This also pertains to my dad's second and third, now current wife. This decision was made based purely on how they have dealt with me directly my entire life. What I am about to say is not pointed at either person and is in no particular order when it comes to who did what. It is my personal truth, and you can do your own math. I have been extremely, capital letters, okay? I have been extremely verbally and mentally abused since childhood. Let that sink in. Sadly, it would frequently turn physical. And sometimes it's not by the person you would assume. Abuse comes in all shapes and sizes. This vicious pattern has robbed me of any sense of self-esteem or confidence I've been trained to pretend to have. It took me many years to figure out things that were seemingly done for me really benefited someone else in a greater capacity. Up until adulthood, I've received beratings and vile text messages, verbal and public reamings with unbelievable hurtful words said to me that cannot be forgotten. I've been asked to defend poor behavior to the public and have done so out of love, only to find I was misinformed and manipulated and lied to. Still to this day, I face constant ridicule for those poor decisions of others. I've watched others benefit financially off of my suffering and embarrassment caused by their selfish behavior. While it caused my life to crumble, I continue to stay strong and silent. I was expected and did forgive massive blows to my career and personal life. Nasty behaviors, omissions of truths, blatant lies, manipulations, repetitive errors in hopes of renewing previous family bonds. I've been used as a pawn, a buffer, and I've been treated like I'm downright stupid too. No child or human should ever experience something like this. Feeling injustice, not speaking my truth, dealing with smear campaigns, flying monkeys, enablers of behaviors, watching fake wins over what's real, losing other family members and friends in attempts to stop gossip and ongoing drama is also a painful side effect of this decision I deal with daily. She's going in. Many people witnessed this behavior and never took action or took a stand for me. But I did watch them stick around for the freebies, the money, the associations to fame, all of which I chose to give up and was never important to me in the first place. I guess some don't speak up to avoid getting caught in the crosshairs. I can't blame them. My family is very skilled at war. I so badly wanted to see good in them, protect, help, and start anew, just to be disrespected again and again. I longed for a normal family, but it never came to fruition. I repeatedly held my hand out to help them, only to have them pull me into darkness with them. I've set boundaries that were not respected, and I'm at this point I can truly do no more. So here I am as an adult with a loving husband and two beautiful children of my own, and what I can do is control. I have been to therapy and I am doing the work. I am breaking the chain and it ends with me. Each individual on their own have given me more than enough reasons over the years to make this extremely hard, painful decision to end contact. As much as I do not understand and I have empathy for their own, as much as I not only understand and have empathy for their own struggles, I absolutely love them with every fiber of my being, which deep down I think they know. My heart hurts every day, and not a day passes that it does not affect me. Inside of me, there is a little girl who desperately wants and needs her mom and dad. No one wants this, to feel so much pain and not have their parents, but their behavior became more painful than their absence. I hope to one day realize, appreciate, and respect why I have chosen to remain as quiet as possible, not exposing specific names and details of certain experiences to try to protect them. It is not something easy to handle, feeling like you're on an island that many don't know that years ago I waited tables to build my own business with zero financial help from others, but I have worked hard my whole life. Cycles must be broken. I feel God has given me the strength and the duty to do so. At this point, my husband, my children, and my relationship with God is my priority. There have been more than enough chances and reprieve given. It has to stop and it ends now. I would not let false narratives pass this point. Please heed my warning. I am choosing peace, but do not mistake my kindness or silence for weakness. There are families without food, parents with sick children, real hardships going on in this world, and our family was more than blessed, and everyone chose to play their cards differently. Accountability is a game changer. That girl said a lot. I gotta breathe. That was a lot to read, child. She said a lot. She's been going through a lot. She's gone through therapy. And therapy is obviously working for her. She's in a happy space. And the reason why I'm even talking about this is that a lot of people feel like you have to have relationships with people just because you share blood with them, and you don't. You don't. Sometimes you have to cut off a parent. I've been there. Sometimes you have to cease dealing with people for years at a time. Because like I always tell y'all, you have one life to live. And if you have people in your life that do not bring you peace, that do not want the best for you, that manipulate you and abuse you, whether that's emotional manipulation, mental, spiritual manipulation, sexual manipulation, you have every right to cut them off. So I respect her. I respect the fact that she's now an adult and she sees the games that were being played. And, you know, as she wrote that, and I'm thinking back to watching the show, I remember when she was waiting tables. Because I remember that story came out and people were clowning her, like, why is she waiting tables? You're Hulk Hogan's daughter. And I didn't understand it either, because I'm like, she's rich, you know, you're the daughter of Hulk Hogan. And now looking at it, where's the money from the show? Why was she, because the show was mainly based around the children. We really didn't watch the show for Linda and Hulk. Initially, we came in as Hulk Hogan fans, but all Linda and Hulk did was bicker. So as you know, young people, we were more in tune with the children. We were here for Brooke. She was my favorite on the show. We were here for Brooke and Nick. So did they not get a bag off of the show? And this is why I say it's very interesting how a lot of these truths about these reality TV shows have been coming out more and more. A lot of these folks put on these personas. You see these glamorous homes and, you know, yachts and cars. And you can tell she obviously walked away from this show with nothing. Probably because her parents spent it all, tricking it off, the divorce settlement. These kids walked away with nothing. Because I remember her waitressing tables. And then another thing, too, that she also went through, if you guys remember when Hulk Hogan was caught, when the videos were sold to Gawker about Hulk Hogan making racist remarks in his home. And, you know, I kind of felt like at the end of the day, he was in his home. Somebody privately recorded him. And if you guys remember, put a tick up if y'all remember Hulk Hogan going in on Brooke's boyfriend at the time. Remember, Brooke was dating a black guy. He was kind of, you know, I think biracial, you know, light skin, maybe racially ambiguous, but he was, you know, black enough. And he was not happy about it. And he was making a lot of racist comments about her black boyfriend at the time. You know, kind of no different to like when, you know, some black moms say she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. He was kind of having that conversation. So y'all remember that. Yeah, Hulk Hogan took Gawker out of business. Yeah, he ended up, matter of fact, Peter Thiel. Because remember, Gawker exposed him for being gay. Nobody knew Peter Thiel was gay like that. Gawker exposed him. So then he hooked up with Hulk Hogan and they took Gawker down. He got that Peter Thiel money and they took Gawker down after that. But remember when Gawker exposed him for not only being racist, he was saying all types of out-of-pocket shit. They took away his like WWF Hall of Fame awards. It was like a big deal. This was like in 2015, 2016. I covered it back then. And remember, Brooke had to kind of come out and stand with her father and say, you know, my dad is not racist. You know, it was a private conversation. And you can tell she felt uncomfortable. So reading that, what she wrote, it makes sense. She didn't agree with that. But she was manipulated to come out and stand with her father to help save his reputation. All the while, as parents, they didn't have her own back. That is sad. That is sad. Because I was her boyfriend at the time. So when that comes out, what do you think that does to her relationship? If I'm the guy, I'm not going to date you. Because look how your family is talking about me behind closed doors. That ruined her relationship with that young man. So, Brooke has been through some shit. So I'm really happy that she's in a good space. She has these beautiful twins. She has a boy and a girl. And I can imagine how hard that is. You have babies. You want the grandparents there. You want them around. But I respect her for saying both of you motherfuckers are toxic. So no, I don't want y'all around my marriage. I don't want y'all bringing y'all's toxicity, y'all's weird ass relationships, these weird ass marriages that y'all be, Hulk Hogan is hopping in and out of. She don't want no parts. She said she prayed for her husband. She got him. They've been together for 5 years. They had their babies, and she's living her best life. They both have successful businesses that she got from the ground up, and I respect that. Now, I don't know her relationship with her brother. I don't know, where her and Nick stand, because I haven't really seen anything of the two of them posted. But I respect her for going no contact, and I think that should be normalized. I think you have the right to go no contact from toxic family members, and that's okay. And friends and whoever else is bringing toxicity to your life. You don't owe anybody an explanation. I'm a cutoff queen. Once I feel your vibe is not right, you're just, we're not vibing, I'm out. I don't owe you no explanation, nothing. Go your way, I'm going to go mine. I respect her for that because I know how hard that is to have to cut off a parent for a certain amount of time. Sometimes it could be a few months, sometimes it's years. And if it's meant to be, they will realize the error of their ways, and then y'all can talk it out like adults. Because just because you're a parent does not give you the right to just do as I say, not as I do. I'm your mom, I'm your dad. Nah, especially once we're grown. Because now I'm not a little girl anymore. So we're going to have tough adult-to-adult conversations. And if you can't take ownership of my feelings, regardless if you agree with them or not, you have to understand that as a child, there were certain things I went through because no parent is perfect. So as a parent, if you've made mistakes with your children, you have to own that. You have to own how they feel in particular situations. And I think sometimes as parents, we can sometimes be like, well, I'm the parent, I did my best, oh well. Well, sometimes your best is not good enough, and you have to hear out your child, and you have to hear out their grievances, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to move forward. But again, coming from a parent, parenting does not come with a handbook, and you're learning. Even with me, like I had to learn that I had to parent, like it's different now because I have adult kids. So now, I have an adult son who has his own space, his own apartment. So our relationship dynamic has changed. It's not so much like, that's always my child, but now it's like he's a grown man. So I have to come at him differently. We have different conversations now. It's not kid conversations. It's not, we've always had deep conversations, but it's different now. Now he understands paying bills. Now when he leaves his apartment, oh, now you turning off all the lights? Oh, okay, well, you was staying here, fans be on, lights be on, So it's like he's understanding stuff now as an adult, So it's like your relationship changes with your children. You just got to make adjustments as a parent. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's definitely reciprocal. So I'm really glad this conversation is being had right now publicly because a lot of people are dealing with stuff like this, with their parents. Just miscommunications, not getting along, stuff like that. So after this went viral, Brooke's statement to her mom, Linda Hogan decides to reply back today. And this is her response. And this is how I know Linda Hogan has not changed. That's why I didn't feel bad when I seen her Botox face crying. Because she's always been messy. So this is her response here. Linda Hogan labels daughter Brooke a narcissist. After Brooke, and then Brooke claps back and shows receipts. So around 11 a.m., Linda goes to Instagram and she says this. Seems narcissism runs in the family. Brooke is a narcissist just like her dad, going out, spewing lies to everyone, and I'm supposed to defend myself. I'm supposed to defend my truth against that. I'm not about to do that. It seems to me that she doesn't want the truth being revealed to her new husband and his family about who she is and the things she did in her past. I think I spanked Brooke once. Yeah, I called her a couple names, but no means ever treated her the way she's painting it. They had cell phones. She could have posted horrible things about me back when all of this supposedly was happening, but nothing, she didn't, because nothing was happening. But when she took her dad's side after the divorce and wrote a Wonderful Mom song and went to all the tabloids because Terry was using her as a tool, her memory is completely screwed about the treatment that she received growing up in our household. And you can talk to anyone. You can ask anyone, you can ask Terry, that none of that stuff ever happened. It is her angle to keep her family away from her now, revealing who she used to be after drinking a half a bottle of vodka. She was so drunk she broke my collarbone and cut my lip and insisted everyone take her to the hospital because she was poisoned and she wasn't. She was just drunk. There's many stories like that, and I'm not going to go on. But I'm going to defend myself against these ridiculous allegations. I'll do that in court if she keeps it up. Girl. Really? Now, let me say this. When Brooke did used to go to the tabloids, siding with her father, you got to understand, her mom was literally dating her brother's friend. What is more embarrassing? Hulk Hogan at the time really is not dating anybody. He was kind of talking, to the second wife. But the second wife was a lot older. I think she was like in her 30s. She was younger than Hulk, but she was in her 30s. My mom is literally dating somebody who went to high school with me and was my brother's friend. She's getting clowned all over the blogs. She's getting clowned from her inner circle, people that went to school with them. So of course she's going to side with her father. You looked ridiculous at 48 dating their friend who was 19. So yeah, at that time, Brooke had fallen off with her. And so then Linda tried to have a spinoff show with her and Charlie. And it tanked. We didn't care. We didn't come here for you and Charlie. So that show just kind of, it fell by the wayside. And then they did a spinoff show with just Brooke, trying to start her music career. And so if the girl was drinking, it was probably because of all this stuff she went through. She had been on camera since she was about, 14, 15 years old? Having her life picked apart, her looks, because she's a really tall girl with a Hulk Hogan chin. I mean, I'm just telling y'all what the, blogs used to say back in the day. As a teenager, that gets to kids. So I think this is really sad that she's doing this. So then after that went viral, Brooke came out with receipts. That's why I say Linda's just a liar. So these are the receipts. She's saying that, she hasn't seen Brooke in 7 to 8 years. Brooke pulled receipts. Who is this in the middle? This you? That's Linda, Brooke, Brooke's new husband. I don't know who them two people is. And the date is June 3rd, 2023. This you, Linda? I thought you said you hadn't seen Brooke in 7 to 8 years. It sounds to me like old Linda's back on the bottle. Just making up shit, trying to go live, trying to go viral. What it is, she feels away because she's older now. Nobody's checking for her crazy ass. And Hulk Hogan, you know, sorry, we just live in a man's world. He's able to reinvent himself at 70 years old. He's running around with Trump and ripping off his shirt, and he's at the MAGA rallies, and, you know, he's doing his thing. Nobody's checking for her, and she's upset. So now she's lashing out and crying online and making up stories. I don't feel bad for Linda. So that is the tea that is going on with Brooke Hogan, the Hogan family, Linda Hogan. It's a bunch of mess, you know. But I think it also leads to a good discussion about sometimes having to separate and cut off toxic family members. And I don't blame Brooke for trying to protect her children. Because once you become a mother, your job is to protect your children. And one of the ways of protecting your children is making sure that your sanity is all in one piece. There's postpartum out there and all types of things. She don't need to deal with the stress of what her parents can bring into her life. So I don't blame her for going no contact, like I said earlier. So at this point, Linda needs to let her Botox heal and go sit down somewhere. Notice everybody else is living their best life. Nick is married. Brooke is doing good. She's married, got her babies. Hulk Hogan is remarried. Meanwhile, the only thing you hear in Linda's background is a dog barking. Woof!
Want the latest news in the streets? Join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.